Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another show of Toffee Bluecast. We are live on X. If you want to comment on X, you can do, and it comes over to us on YouTube. The link's there if you do want to come over to YouTube. There's a lot of toffees in the comments that you can interact with throughout the show. We're also live on YouTube and on Facebook as well. If you can hit that like nice and early, we really do appreciate it. What we're going to do now is we're going to give a max reaction of the last game in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, probably even 1 minute, because I don't want to dwell on it. So we're just going to say what we think in a sentence, and then we're going to get the Bournemouth fan on and move on to the next game. I don't normally... I'll go first, and then I'll let Paul say his words. I don't normally back down or hide from a game because I support Everton and I'll face whatever happens. But I really didn't want to do a match reaction. So there wasn't one on the last game at Newcastle. There wasn't a match reaction. And I was just really peed off, to be fair. And I felt like I didn't even want to say much. And we didn't go live. It was just a really, really bad game. It was like the Tottenham game all over. And it was frustrating. And I think when I've looked on X now on that game, that Newcastle game, it feels like, say, this is what it's like being an Evertonian sometimes. Say you've had like 100 arguments with your partner over the year, or over 5 years, say 100 arguments with your partner. But all those 100 arguments you've said, that's it, draw a line, it's done, we won't talk about it again. But then you have an argument and you bring all those things up. And that's what it feels like with Everton on X, to be fair. It feels like once we do something bad, everything comes off the chest. And then all of a sudden it's Moyes out. And then all of a sudden it's Pickford's this. And then all of a sudden it's this, that. And we just go completely, our heads go, I do it as well. And I think we should. We should never just accept losing. But I do think sometimes we go mad. We really do. And we have to move on from it. We have to move on from it. And some people will say, like, we're in big trouble now. I don't think it's that bad. I just think we're that frustrated with the game. We're just not going to be happy with that no matter what. So we're just going to be angry until we put it right. But we can go overboard, basically. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we go overboard because, like, that we should accept that. But I'm just saying we need to move on from it. Do you know what I mean? It was a bad day at work, at the office, but you still need to go work the next day. You can't let it affect everything. So, yeah, really bad game. I put some stuff on X. The first goal corner, really bad defending. We need a set piece, coach. Awful defending on that corner. When you say defending, you know you're angry. Awful defending on the corner. Awful. And the goal on the counter-attack that Volta made a chip, awful on that. I mean, Irabunim's just got to head it out, smash it out. But Keane's got to track back and try and save Irabunim being shite. And Pickford, if he's going to come out, he's got to fully come out or stay on his line. There's just so many bad things that's what I say. It can trigger you out. So we've got to put it behind us. But yeah, really fuming with that game. Those players owe it to us to put it right. This game, which we're going to talk about. Paul, what are you going to say on that game?
Shite. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't need putting behind us, though, doesn't it? Yeah, that's to be fair, yeah. I completely agree with you. It was crap, people.
We move on.
The only good thing about that game is that we have got another game.
And I think Nick,
we couldn't need a game more, could we?
Yeah. No. And Nick's, Nick's pointed out how good the players were, and the overall majority were not to their, we're not to theirs or our standard. So they'll have got a good ticking off by Moyes. They'll have, had a little bit of time to recuperate, get on the coach or plane probably, and then we go again for an evening kickoff on the South Coast.
Exactly. This game couldn't come at a better time. So we move on. That was our match reaction. And trust me, if we did one straight after the game, I would have been effing and blinding and probably got banned from the stadium like everyone has done for swearing in the stadium. Ridiculous that they're actually putting on seats that you're not allowed to swear in the game. Up the effing toffees is what we say. We swear in every song. What are you on about? We're allowed to swear. We're allowed to swear. That is absolutely ridiculous that they're trying to stop swearing in the stadium. Just putting that on seats is that. Don't be too posh in football. Trust me. Fans are hooligans. Fans are crazy. We like to swear, especially when we get a game like we got last time. That's it. My boy's bad. There's a lot of bad stuff about last game.
There's a lot
I
of
don't even
swearing.
want to talk about. Yeah. I've got
Well,
100 million swear words to say on last game. But right, here we go then, people. Here we go. This is what we've got to do. We've got to move on. So we have got a Bournemouth fan on. We have got a game, luckily, straight away coming up. It's really soon. Here we go. Let's get him on. Instead of putting him on, I accidentally changed the song instead of putting him on. That's what happens when you start throwing punches, when you try and introduce a guest. There we go. Hello, how are we doing? You all right?
Yeah, all good, all good. Good to see you as well, Dan. Good to see you, Paul.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Yes. To be honest, one thing that you said there does, kind of resonate with me. You are probably playing us at just the right time, in all honesty. You look at our form, you look at what we're doing at the moment, you look at other aspects which I'm sure that we'll cover off. And to be honest, most teams in the Premier League would be licking their lips at a trip to Dean Court when earlier on in the season they might have been thinking, "Oh gosh, we don't want to go there."
I've watched. I mean, we'll look at your form,
Mhm.
and then we'll get your lineup and we'll do our lineup and finish with score prediction as we always do. But I've watched quite a few Bournemouth games. I've watched a lot of football. I've tried to watch all the games because I'm enjoying this season. I think everyone's hot and cold, but I don't think you're as bad as you say. But I do get where you're coming from as well at the same time, because the West Ham game was just weird. I mean, West Ham went 2-0 up, but that second half, you could have scored about 20.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Don't get me wrong. We're not talking about Bournemouth being a bad side. We're not a poor side at all. We are earlier on in the season. We were doing really, really well. Everything was just clicking together. The Spurs win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was, to be honest, how it was only 1-0 was actually a bit of an injustice towards ourselves. It should have been 5-6 up there in London. To be honest, going to, beat Brighton at home, that was impressive as well. The Leeds game was interesting, the 2-2 draw. Showed lots of fight. The Fulham win. So there is lots that is standing out, and it did look for a while that right, this is the season where we can break into Europe. However, lo and behold, what happens again? Like last season, we've got a number of injuries. Of course, Ryan Christie's been out at the moment. Semenyo was out. Adam Smith was out. We are missing important players. And also now we've got 3 players suspended for this game. In fact, 2 of which were completely and utterly avoidable against Sunderland. So the wheels have kind of fallen off a little bit. However, we're hoping on Tuesday, like Everton, that we can put them back on. But to be honest, we know that it's going to be a tough game. And it's going to be a lot tougher. Let's be honest. It's going to be a lot tougher than when you visited Dean Court last time under Sean Dyche, where it was just like, we're going to sit back. We're just going to let Bournemouth play in front of us for the whole 90 minutes. It was only 1-0. It was tough to break through that defence because Everton's defence are good. But at the same time, Sean Dyche got his tactics completely and utterly wrong, and we could still be playing now, and Everton wouldn't have had a shot on target. And that's no disrespect to the team. That's actually saying about Sean Dyche more than anybody else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, you did mention our defence is decent, but a lot of Evertonians, their heads would be popping off on that after the last game. It's crazy because if you would have spoke to us after Man United, we're all on cloud nine. We're happy with our manager, we're happy with our players, and we're all thinking, you know what, we can smash this season. And then Newcastle game happened, and now we all think it's the end of the world. We have got a big problem. Obviously, Garner Gay got sent off for. I think it's ridiculous. It was the littlest slap on his own player ever. I don't think it was even a slap. But at the time, Everton social media are making a joke of it and saying the best mates now. But now Everton fans are fuming because they're thinking that was the worst thing that Garner Gay could have done, because we've got no one that can play that position of central defensive midfield. No one can do it. Irabunum, we tried him last game in that position, and I know he can't play that position. And I said he's better high up, but there's no position for Irabunum high up because we've got loads of good players high up in the 10. So I don't know where Irabunum's position is. I really don't. But I just know that Garner, he's not even a complete CDM. He likes to push up sometimes. So we've got no one in that position, which is worrying for us going into this game. So look, you said that you've got problems. We see that as a massive problem for us going into this game.
And the thing is that's music to our ears as well. And I think this will be a fixture that will kind of make or break this season for either side. I think it's, I know it's early on in the season. I know there's plenty of football still to be played, but it's at this moment in time, Everton are needed to kick back on. Very, very disappointing result against Newcastle. I did see that. You weren't at the races. You compare that against the Manchester United game, and to be honest, Evertonians, I'm sure will forgive me for saying this. It was an absolute horrendous match. But likewise, we've played very, very poorly in spells. The Aston Villa game, don't get me wrong, Villa are a great side, but the Aston Villa game was absolutely dire. In fact, it rivals the defeat against Huddersfield, where Simon Francis all those years ago was completely and utterly lost for being the worst performance. So we need to kick back into some sort of momentum. And that's why
I did watch the Aston Villa game, Craig, and it was the worst I've ever seen you play. I was really
terrible.
shocked. Yeah, I couldn't. I think I switched it off after Barkley come on, and even he ended up smashing some goals in, and I was like, "Oh my god, what happened there?" But yeah, it was the worst I'd seen you play. So I'm hoping you've got that in you.
Well, to be honest, I was meant to be going up to that game, and luckily I didn't actually make it. So I actually got away with that one. But it was awful. It was awful. It wasn't even worth watching it on a dodgy Fire Stick for. It was that terrible. It was just poor. It was sluggish. It was completely lost. It's not the Bournemouth that we were accustomed to. And if a narrow defeat to Manchester City, which was our game preceding that, if that is what that does to that team, they need to kind of get their heads in gear, because against City, we played well. Second half against West Ham, we played well. Should have really won that game. Yesterday, we played very, very well in the first half. Second half, it all just collapsed in on itself. Don't get me wrong, Sunderland, I'm going to give them a lot of credit here, are a bloody good side. But overall, we need to kind of turn the corner. And this could be, like I say, a season defining match. If we get beat again, it's going to be a case of, right, where do we get something from? We need to get something sooner rather than later to turn that corner, to get ourselves pointing in the right direction. Because if Bill Foley's aim is to get Europe this season, this poor run cannot continue. Yeah, it's that
very much
that
like
Villa,
it was. Very inconsistent.
That Villa defeat was terrible. Yeah. In all honesty, the Crystal Palace game was incredibly exciting, and that's one of the fixtures that really jumps out to me there.
Mm.
You look at the Leeds game, again, very, very much end to end. Should have really got a result there against Newcastle. Um, you know, uh, I think that was more of a decent draw, to be honest, but it, it's a little bit frustrating. And I don't want to be too negative. I don't want to be too negative about this side, but um, I don't know if you've seen the highlights, and of course, Senesi is going to be out missing for this fixture. The gladiator at the back, as we call him, he hardly puts a foot wrong. To be honest, his passing is fantastic out from the back. He's going to be a massive loss. Although we have got Milisakovic who can come in, and that's a good thing. Milisakovic coming in is not bad at all, because what it means is that he's got a bit of pace, he's got a lot of height, and this could be the perfect game for him. You've also got David Brooks, who is now suspended after a yellow card. Why he actually squared up to the Sunderland player and started pushing him, I'm not sure. It was ridiculous, a ridiculous booking. When you are on the edge of a suspension, you just don't do those sort of things. If you go in for a nasty tackle or mistime it, I can take that. You're suspended. You've mistimed the tackle.
He could have
Fair
got
enough.
another yellow after that, couldn't he? He was a
Well,
little bit grabby that game.
to be honest, it's ridiculous. It's ever since he went away on international duty, and he got the bit between his teeth, and he's come back. He's not that sort of player. He's not that sort of person. And I don't understand the frustration, the rot that's got stuck in there. So of course he's going to be missing for this game, which that was truly avoidable. And then you got Lewis Cook, who was sent off for. I keep watching this, and the Sunderland fans pushed back to me. I did a video on this, and I said, I honestly don't think Lewis Cook, because I've met Lewis Cook on a number of occasions, he's a lovely guy. I don't think he intended to do that. However, like they've said, and like a couple of people have said to me, outside of the channel as well, if you have your arm in a position like that and it hits somebody, you're asking for trouble. He didn't move his elbow though. That's the thing. He didn't move his elbow into the face. So I think it was Siddiqui he did it to, if I'm right in thinking. I don't need to verify that, but in all honesty, guys, it was avoidable again. And then after that, the referee just completely lost control of the game. So, a poor day all round. After 4 o'clock.
What a week and a half and 2 weeks it's been. Because, like I say, I think Everton won on the best sending off, the most weirdest one. Actually, calling a gay, slapping his own player, getting sent off for doing something to your own player. It was crazy.
Avoidable
That's the
again.
craziest. But then we've also just gone and seen.
Genius
We've
move.
seen your player get a yellow for his ban, and then Cook, like you said, come on, he's got his ban now. We just watched Casado put that tackle in. Now he's got a red card ban.
Yeah.
And then you watch the West Ham player as well, Paqueta, like double yellow for not shutting his mouth, and you think, what the heck? So it's definitely been a game of yellow cards and red cards and missing players this last week. It's a random one that you've seen it so much because you don't normally.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very disappointed, especially with the loss of discipline. Andoni Areola, no doubt, will not be happy with that because, yes, he's always pumped up, he's fired up, he's always driven, he's always passionate on that sideline. But at the same time, we're now in a position where we're going into this game, which, like I say, is kind of the corner. It's kind of, if we really are true about competing for Europe, we're going to have to turn that corner sooner rather than later. We cannot keep conceding goals like we are. We cannot make these silly mistakes like we are. Okay, we appreciate where we are. We are a fairly small, well, we're a very, very small club in very, very big ponds. But at the same time, if we are truly dedicated and we believe that we can get into Europe, that corner's got to be turned now.
I'm gonna come at you now before the score prediction.
Hmm.
I normally don't go at the opposition fan till the score prediction, but
Go for it.
I'm still behind Moyes at Everton, so I'm not
Yeah.
Moyes out yet. But if Moyes starts being crap, your manager is the manager that I want. He's on my list. That
Yeah.
I've already
No.
thought about it. I've thought about, you know what? What
Mhm.
manager would I have if we did want to sack Moyes and he started getting things wrong? And your manager would be perfect for Everton. Well, he'd be perfect for a lot of teams. But I know you'll hate me for saying that because I would hate someone for saying that they
Mate,
want
honestly,
Tillman and Jai. But I'd snap him up if Moyes starts winding me up. I'll tell you because he's a good manager. I think he's a good manager, and I think me personally, I feel really sorry for you because you've lost some big players. Let's not beat around the bush, and not even sometimes big players, just players that suited you. You lost a good centre back to a world class team who I feel was class.
Yeah.
And then you've lost. I thought what's his name? Atora. How'd you say his name again?
Oh, yeah. So we lost Dean Howson, centre back. We also lost Elia Zabanier, of course. Milos Kerkez, the left back.
I'm so happy Kirkez is flopping, by the way, but it's a big loss for you because he played well for you. But I'm so happy he's flopping for them. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Kepa, of course, went back. To be honest, we got a better goalkeeper in, Georgi Petrovic. I'm trying to think who else actually is bloody left because do you know what? It got absolutely ridiculous.
What was Atara who went to Brentford or something for like 45
Oh yeah,
minutes?
Dango Watara. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he
Dango
played
Watara.
striker for you last season, and he was good for you last season. I remember that. So that's a big loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think Semenyo is the better player, but Philip Billing, has gone as well. So we have lost not just star players that are in the starting 11. You look at the players like Philip Billing who could come in off the bench, but then again, Iriola. And this is mainly down to Simon Francis and Thiago Pinto. What they've done is they've actually gone and they've gone, right, okay, we want these players in these positions and we want young stars. These players, Milisakovic, I'd never even heard of him, but he's come in and he looks brilliant. Looks outstanding. So the scouting system's working. Adrian Treffer. Did you know of Adrian Treffer before he turned up at Bournemouth? Again, another excellent player. Amin Adli, of course, started against Sunderland. So there's a lot of good work going on in the background, but I've got to agree with you that Iriola is, the ace in our cards. We lose Iriola, we are in trouble. But then again, I think Iriola, it will take something for him to actually leave this football club. And the main reason being is he's building a project here. He's building a group of players, and I don't think he really wants to start, from scratch. But I know that you had this lineup there as well. I was just having a look at the outgoings and how much money had come in. But then again, you think of that and you think, but it was all unavoidable that we had clauses. A lot of these players, like Semenyo, has meant to have a clause in his contract, which means he can go to wherever. And I know that Man City and this club that we shan't discuss or used to be over the other side of the park, are the ones that are after him.
Well, we're in a similar situation, I think, because Ndai's obviously turning heads. Imagine Ndai and Semenyo in your team.
Well,
I mean, so we're both ready for plucking. I think that's the problem. So we've got to do well enough to keep those players interested.
If David Moyes wants to give Ilman and Jai a bit of a day off on Tuesday, he can go ahead because he seems to always have a really good game against us. Even when Everton aren't playing particularly well and they're playing against Bournemouth, it seems that Njai does a fantastic job. And again,
Let's have a look at your team before we do our lineup. Let's get that back on the screen. So it covers us
yeah,
up, but this is your team that you probably think that we'll come up against on Tuesday.
yeah. Of course, like I say, Senesi out, Lewis Cook out, David Brooks out. So although that looks a very strong starting 11, you look at the bench, and that's where the concerns are. Krupi, we've dropped to the bench because I think he'll probably, I think he'll probably come in, make an impact. Will he start in front instead of Evan Nielsen? It's possible, but Evan Nielsen does so much more off the ball as well. He's not just a goal scorer. He's a strong player that you can really wrestle and create things for others. I'm quite happy with the starting 11 if this is it. But it's a case of what happens if we do get a booking and somebody like Alex Scott, against Sunderland, if we didn't replace him, and because of the way the referee was handling the game, which was absolutely terrible, if we carried on playing him, he would have been a red card waiting to happen. So I'm pleased that Iriola made that substitution, and that change. Of course, it didn't bloody help that David Brooks got a booking, and then of course Lewis Cook got his red card. We
Craig,
are,
you are quite a cardy team, though, ain't you? I mean, sometimes I like to put cards on my little Ackers sometimes,
yeah,
and Smith often gets carded right back. Then you play Cook there sometimes, and he gets carded right back. I know Truffert as well. He's a good one for cards left back. Adams in centre mid, he often ends up with a card for you as well, and Scott he does as well. So you are quite a cardy team, ain't you?
yeah, we are.
Which with
Yeah,
our wingers, I feel if you wing back, if you left back and right backs on cards, it could be quite good for us with good wingers.
yeah, very true. And I think when you look at that subs bench, it's a case of Soler might come in for Traffair. If he gets a booking, Jimenez on the right back, or Julian Arejo. James Hill, can slot into defence somewhere. It's when you go to midfield, what happens if there's a need for a change in that midfield? We've got Justin Cliver. That's literally it, really. Enisu now could play up front. Maybe, we would put in Krupi into the midfield instead of Adley. But yeah, we're a little bit down on our luck because of injuries and also the suspensions. And yeah, I'm optimistic with this starting 11, but we've just got to be careful. We just need to make sure that we don't do anything rash. What David Brooks did, yesterday was just absolutely ridiculous. It was just stupid. It just didn't need to happen. If he put in
How
a bad
come?
tackle, I don't mind that. But just going up and pushing somebody in the chest and having a bit of a scrap because you want to have a bit of a scrap is a bit stupid. So yeah, I'm a positive, but at the same time, it was very much avoidable.
How come Clivett don't start for you? I've always found that last couple of games. I know he's coming back from injury a little bit, but how come he
Yeah.
doesn't start?
He could well do, and it would probably be the most sensible change to this lineup. Tavernier has been excellent. I don't think you can really drop him. Semenyo, I think he picks himself. And Amin Adley, I think he's going to be crying out for time. Do we protect Clivert? Because of course, after this match, we do have Chelsea. Of course, that's not long after. That's on Saturday. So do we have to effectively? Um, we're going to have to kind of rotate our team when we have got the least to rotate in. December's always a tough month in football, and yeah, we're going into this with suspensions and injuries at just the wrong time.
Cracking. I didn't ask you for the lineup, Paul, this time.
Yeah.
And the main reason I didn't ask you for the lineup is because I was unorganised and just did it myself because I didn't even have time to ask you.
Well,
But I
I
would have
did
asked.
send it you, so I did send it you. So we'll see whether we match or not.
Oh, did you? Oh, but yeah, I literally did it 10 minutes probably before this show. I thought, shall I ask him? But he might not message back on time. I'll just do the lineup myself for once and not be lazy. So, this is my lineup, people. This is my lineup for this game. Here we go. So, let's put us to the side of this one because we should be able to. I don't know why I didn't last time, but here we go. That is my lineup. So get your lineups in the comments. I know Paul's already said, and we put the banner up to say get your lineups. We'll read your lineup out. We want to know what lineups you would do for this game. It'd be interesting. I mean, we have only got one player missing, but it might change things a lot. Paul, is this the same as what you do or not?
It's exactly the same as I would do.
All right.
We're so linked.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got a lot of options to put there for Garner Gay, have we? And I think a lot of Everton fans are saying they never want to see Bournemouth in an Everton shirt again, which is pretty extreme. But I think it's harsh to say that about a player. But I kind of feel the same a little bit as well after that last game because he's just not right for a defensive midfielder for me. His position's awful, and he's got to step it up. He was a bit lazy last game, so the change was in Bournemouth's position. And I think the only thing you could probably do was either put Dewsbury all deep and Alcaraz up, or Alcaraz deep and Dewsbury all back in that 10 position, or the McNeil thing that David Moyes said in the press, he can play centre mid apparently. But yeah, and I'm a little bit frustrated here because I'm that angry with last game because I thought Jake O'Brien was poor that I want to put Garner right back, but I can't because we've only got one centre mid that's decent. So I can't put James Garner right back because we've not got enough centre midfielders. But then again, what you've got to be careful of, Evertonians, is you don't want to kill a player's confidence. It'd be like dropping Pickford after last game. Sometimes you've got to put them back in the water and let them put it right, you know. And when they've had a bad game, I think you've got to turn it around quick on them. Otherwise, I think that feeling inside of them after having a bad game gets more in the head and it's in them longer. And you can proper see a player go downhill, by the way, by just turning on them and not playing them anymore and thinking the crap. So I'd play Jake O'Brien, but he was awful last game. And he's not been that bad usually, which I don't know what's happened to him. I really don't know what's happened to him, to be fair, because he seems nervous, shy, and not aggressive. And when we first signed him and he first started playing for us, he's a big man. He was aggressive. He looked like that sort of guy that would get like a bandage around his head with blood in it that he'd die for you. And he hasn't been playing like that right back. He hasn't been getting stuck in. He looks like a lost sheep. He doesn't look confident. I don't know what's happened to him because he's not normally like that. So Jake O'Brien needs to step it up. Keane was awful last game. Tarkowski. There's a lot of players that was awful last game that need to put it right this. That's my lineup. Paul, what would you say on this?
Well, the main thing comes from James Garner. He seems to be the key to everything at the moment, just in where you would or where you wouldn't play him. And it's not so much where you would play James Garner. It's who can you trust to do the job where James Garner isn't. And I'm not saying James Garner's the absolute world and beyond criticism at all. But at the moment, because he fills in a right back and does a good job there, and we seem to have a better pass in 90 minutes when he does, it's who you can trust in the middle of midfield. And you could do that a bit with Garner Gay, but now he's not there. You're thinking, right, who's going to do that role? And do people trust Bournemouth to do that in the absence of Garner and Garner Gay? No, probably not. Would they put Dewsbury Hall there with someone else? Maybe, but the fact that Garner seems so influential in where he's playing is the key thing. So at the moment, because middle of midfield is light, James Garner's going to play there. It's inevitable. So, and O'Brien hasn't been doing particularly badly. Take that last game away. He had a cracking game against United before that. Did all right. If he's come on at all against Fulham, can't remember. But he's not done so bad that you have to take O'Brien out of the team. So Garner's going to play centre, and it's all about who plays with him. I think Moyes will probably play Irabunum, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
I think
I've
he
got a
will.
feeling he's gonna,
It's not that I
yeah,
particularly want him to. Like you said, he might feel now that he has to give everyone who played yesterday that chance to redeem themselves. I think the likes of Pickford and Tarky and even Grealish and Dewsbury, that they'd be rallying everyone up. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a case of that is not going to happen again. Blah blah blah. It should be. We're dragging ourselves up. We're going down on the south coast, and we're going to put in a strong performance. There'll be plenty of challenges, I would think, from our side, because they've got to prove themselves again. They've got to prove themselves.
If you was to look at us like the season before, the season after a loss like that, I'd be really worried that we're going to crumble and probably not winning 10 games. But I do feel like we've got players with different character now that won't just bail on that loss and get worse, and then we'll end up crap now every game. I do feel that, like you just said, Dewsbury Hall and Grealish and Jai will pick these lads up. I think they'll want to put it right. And I really am up for it. I hope they are as well, because I want to put it right as well, because I'm really frustrated. So I do think they'll lift everyone back up. Barry, a lot of Everton fans behind him, wishing him the best. We know he ain't got that goal scored, but got it disallowed.
Yeah.
A lot of Everton fans have turned on Barry after that game. That's what I said at the start. We do the same. Barry's crap now. He's awful. Why did we even get behind him? Some people are saying.
No,
I didn't think Barry was the big problem.
You could slag off all of them. Do you know what I mean? You could slag off all of them, to be fair. I felt really sorry for him. The fact that he actually he absolutely sliced it and he went in the corner. He looked so happy with himself. It's just the fact that he's hit his arm. Not that, that corner that came. I'm not going to go over that yesterday too much, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so easy. You can go back to it.
I've not heard anyone mention handball on the line. We took a corner, it curled right in on the line, and someone's there with their arm. I know down by their side, but just key moments like that. So anyway, God, no, don't go back. Don't go back.
I know, it's so odd. I want to talk about that handball on the line, especially when Barry's hand was just like, no, we're not doing it. We're not going back to it. We're talking about this game. Craig, before we put the lineups from everyone else on in the comments, just give me one player that you fear and one player that you feel's crap that you can probably rip to pieces.
To be honest, I think
No one.
Njai has always had a good game against us. If he ever wants, and likewise the man over the left hand side as well, Jack Grealish, a man that I think that Iriola would get the very, very best from. If either of those two want to ever come down and enjoy themselves on the south coast, they're more than welcome to join AFC Bournemouth. But
are you literally saying now that Iriola will get the best out of Njai and Grealish, and that you want him to be an Everton manager?
No, not an Everton manager. I'd like him to, I'd like him to bring.
Like how I twisted that, Craig.
But I do. That. Yeah, very good, Dan. Very good. So I think Njai probably over Grealish is the one that I always dread. With regards to a player that I think we could get at, in all honesty, I think we'll probably play Semenyo. And probably pair him up against O'Brien. And I think Semenyo probably get quite a lot of luck on that side. However, a lot of teams are starting to get Semenyo's number, and it's not because Semenyo's become a bad player overnight, because he hasn't. Teams are actually starting to read what he does, where the shimmy, the move, either onto the inside or keeping it on the outside. Teams are starting to work it out, and
like Doku.
I guess we've got to maybe just adapt things a little bit. Maybe Semenyo needs to flip over the wings, and maybe Amin Adli is that sort of player that can do that. So what on one side you got Semenyo, one side you got Adley, and then they flip and then go back. Sometimes that has worked in the past, both here and I've seen it in other clubs in the Premier League as
I've
well.
said, I was just going to say, I've said the same thing about Grealish and the fact that teams have doubled up on Grealish just to avoid sort of him coming inside and shooting on his right. I do sometimes think he should have a little bit of a little mix up and rotation, because I think it's much harder to mark Grealish in the 10 than it is to mark him on the left hand side, and still think he can get shots away. So I agree that there should be a little bit more fluidity and unpredictability to your front four. Certainly, I think we've got the same problems.
Yes, Semenyo, teams know how good he is and they counteract him. It doesn't matter if he is going to go to Man City or, that other team, which I'm not going to name for you guys. Wherever he goes, he's going to have teams doing exactly the same if he's played in the same way. So we've got to kind of adapt him and maybe have a little shake up moving forwards. But to be honest, we've got plenty of quality. We've got plenty of quality, and therefore, I'm hoping we can actually get back to winning ways this week. If we don't, then I know that Lord Rodney Trotter, as we call him, he who dares win, said a little bit earlier on as well from our channel. He turned around and said Bournemouth could be in the relegation zones. I don't think that would happen, but it's all quite tight. That we could easily fall, further into that bottom half, and then it becomes a long, long, long drag back up.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
we're in
I think
similar places though, so I can't, like I say, I can't see it happening for either of us. I think we'll both always pick up enough points now to keep a 4 or 5 point gap between us and bottom four, for example. Sorry, Dan.
I'm going to be
I
boring,
was
and I'll say the three that will go down are the three that are in there at the moment.
I was just going to say I said at the start of the season we'll be okay, mid-table, push for Europa League conference, and I still do believe that. But I also do believe in my head as well that whoever wins this pushes away from that relegation zone, and you don't want to be there
Yeah.
because I everyone's good this season. I don't think the three that have come up will go down. I think that they're really good. I think Leeds are playing well. I think Sunderland are playing well. And I do think there'll be some expected go down. And I've watched Bournemouth be poor sometimes. I've watched West Ham be poor sometimes. If we don't pull our socks up, we could. You'll be surprised this season. It's very competitive. Anybody could end up down there. There's no crap team this season, I don't think.
I don't think that Everton will get relegated, and I don't think we will get relegated. But we don't want to be pulled into it. Between Fulham and Nottingham Forest, there is a 5 point gap as it stands at the moment. And I would envisage that that gap will slowly increase over time. Might not increase quickly, but I think it will slowly increase over time. And I think, in all honesty, that bottom five will probably fall away. I don't see much from West Ham. I don't see much from Forest. Forest, had a very, very good manager, and it all seemed to click last season. Of course, he's at West Ham now, but I think that's going to be a little bit of a longer burn. A little bit like, to be honest, a little bit like what David Moyes is trying to do with Everton. When you've got a big club and when you go into a big club like Nuno's gone into West Ham and like David Moyes come back into Everton, it sometimes takes a little bit longer to kind of turn that ship around with the players that you've got at your disposal. And keep in mind, when Iriola come in here, he didn't get a win for 9 games. So again, it sometimes takes a bit longer. So in all honesty, I don't think either of us have got any danger of going down. It's how far we're going to drop into that bottom half, which makes it very, very difficult to achieve our aims and your aims as well, because I believe on our days both teams can be competing for these European places, but both teams, as we well know, can also fall away far enough, and it completely destroys our season. So this is why I say, as much as it's early on in the season, after 14 games, after 13 games, this is the 14th one, you shouldn't really be saying, well, this is a season-defining match, but kind of it is. If we want to go on an upward trajectory, we need to get back onto winning ways sooner rather than later, because this is doing the players' confidence no good. We can see that on the pitch. We could see that against Sunderland. We could see that against Aston Villa. We didn't help ourselves. We could see that in the first half against West Ham. Some of these players are confidence players, and likewise, the same goes for Everton as well. We can't keep having inconsistencies, and you can't keep on having inconsistencies. So whoever wins this one might go on a little bit of a upward trajectory. It's just then making sure you follow it up with a decent result.
Exactly. Should we show what other people think down at the lineup?
Let's get these lineups on, and then we'll finish the show with score prediction, people. Let's have a look. I'm interested to see what these lineups are. Let's give them a quick read, these lineups. If we miss you, we're sorry, but we do try and get all your lineups on. Paul, go on, go for it.
Yeah, Adam's message in as well. Just says, want to see in midfield Charlie and Dibbling right back. Or Charlie and Dibbling in midfield, right back James Garner, and left back O'Brien. That'd be interesting. Peter reckons one change from the last game, is Charlie to come in. So Alcaraz next to James Garner, for example, Dewsbury all in the 10. Yeah, same as you, really, and myself. KDH dropping in. He did well. I mean, obviously we were down to 10 men and everything else, but so he was kind of forced into playing alongside James Garner, but it worked. They worked well together as well. Shell says, same as yesterday, just put Charlie instead of Tim. Peter's lineup is, like I say, exactly the same as what we've gone for. So is Nick, he agrees. Danny Ellis as well agrees.
What did he say? I'm the same as what? What did he hashtag then? I'm the same as what did Mick hashtag?
Oh no, Nick said that he's same as Peter's, and Peter agreed with us. I think it seems to be from people's lineups. There's Danny's again. It seems to be from people's lineups whether they would prefer Alcaraz or Dewsbury Hall alongside James Garner in the middle. Is basically where it comes from.
It was really interesting. It was really interesting that I thought when Alcaraz come on, Alcaraz would play in the 10, but it was weird that Moyes left Dewsbury Hall in the 10. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall went to score a cracking goal, and it was a beautiful touching goal by Dewsbury Hall. But it was interesting that Moyes didn't put Alcaraz in the 10 and move. I think personally, Dewsbury Hall is more of a workhorse defensively, and I want Dewsbury Hall in the 10 because it's sad to not play him in that position because I feel that he deserves it. But when we're going through Garner not being available, I think Dewsbury Hall is better than Alcaraz in that position. So for me, it's got to be Dewsbury Hall in that position. You play Alcaraz in that position, you could have another Irabunin where you just don't get back sometimes. Scary. Go on, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. Steve reckons, where are we? Mickey Keeney talks O'Brien. Same thing. Apart from, hang on, let me just check. Just like referees do at the beginning of a game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, yeah, 12. So I'm presuming he would drop Dibbling and have him on the bench, but 1 or 2 calls for Dibbling to maybe get a chance. I can't see Dibbling starting a game until next year. I honestly can't, to be honest. The vibe that you get from Moyes when he talks about him is that he's not really in the plans to start any games, and he's got to get ahead of Ndiaye, Grealish, and 1 or 2 other people at the moment. So when AFCON kicks in, he might get 1 or 2 chances, or 1 or 2 more chances than he's already got. But everyone kind of agrees on what we've gone for today.
It's weird because we've got that many options. Like, I'm thinking to myself now, I really want to see Diblin. He did look good when he come on that game. He has been poor before. But then would you play Njai on the left, Grealish in the 10, Diblin right wing?
Yeah.
Diblin right wing and then play Dewsbury all deep. That's another option for you there. That's an interesting
unpredictability. That unpredictability wins you games. You know, if the defenders know what you're going to do, they can defend it. You know, there's usually something that they can do to stop it if they know it's coming. If you have people rotating and causing problems in attack, you don't do that in defence. But when I watched, then it makes it harder.
When I watched the Arsenal game, the commentator hit the nail on the head. He says when a player takes another player on, it unsettles that player and it unsettles other players, and then it opens teams up. And that's what Saka did today. Just that little take on. Saka just took the player on. And then all of a sudden, your centre-back comes in because he's been taken on. Your right-back's out of position. Then it draws another player in another position. It just unsettles them. So I think that's what you've got to do more. You've got to start taking players on and putting teams out of their comfort zone. That's what we've got to do. We've got good wingers to do that. So I'm frustrated that we're not.
That was one of the criticisms of Mykolenko, is that because he's very much the Tony Hibbert of the left-back world. And he doesn't really go forward and contribute too much to the attacking play, but is very defensive-minded. That Grealish is kind of left on his own to take two people on. There's no kind of distraction from an overlap or anything like that. So, yeah, that's maybe what we need more of. Emma's emojis. So I think we are as we were in what we've chosen. So Pickford and then O'Brien. Keane, Clown, done all right recently, and obviously Tarks, and then Mykolenko left back, Grealish with his calves, KDH alongside Jimmy Garner, Endai and Champagne Charlie in behind Barry Ireland. So yeah, as you were, really.
That's quite impressive, Emma. Got to say that.
She's so good.
She is good.
So good. And Wormy, I haven't seen Wormy put one on tonight, but he's like the apprentice to Emma's master, I think.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but Wormy's not as good, and he really confuses me and Paul and makes us look like Dumb and Dumber because we can't read what Wormy's a bit like me and Paul. He's just random, so he puts random emojis, and me and Paul are like, what's going on? But
we're trying to work him out.
Paul said Emma's lineup like he knows it straight away by looking at it, Craig. But it's took him a few weeks to actually realise what they are. It's only because he's realised now after a few errors.
Years.
Yeah, it's only because he realises. But yeah, we do. They're good ones, Emma. I do like it. I like the peachy Pickford bum at the start. Right, what else have we got? Is that any more?
That's everyone. No, pretty much in agreement. To be fair, not a lot of choices, not a massive squad that we can pick from at the moment.
Moyes has just got to. Do you know this is where Moyes has got to be careful, because I am seeing a lot online that Everton fans. I'm torn because I think Moyes is good and is the right man. Sometimes he makes me really happy, but sometimes he pees me off. And I think a lot of Everton fans are frustrated with him because he's got a reputation of not being good with young players. He likes his oldies. And I think Tyler Diblin and a few others, Moyes doesn't seem to have got them in right. So a few people are scared that Moyes will kill some of our young players. But I can't massively put that last game on David Moyes. I can't personally. I think that our players there just wasn't awake. There just wasn't awake at all. It was really frustrating, actually. Really, really frustrating. I can imagine how angry Emma was, because she gets as angry as me. I probably should have done. You know what? Next time we get battered like that, I'm going to do a match reaction just for the Jeremy Kyle after. I'm doing it. I'm not skipping it again. Literally, I'll just call it the Jeremy Kyle show.
We normally do one and call it blue therapy, and then we all feel slightly better afterwards.
I'll be honest, it sounds like it is two teams that are having exactly the same run, just coming head to head on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That is the worrying part.
Agreed.
And do you know what Craig said earlier on the show about 5 minutes ago? He thinks that we're Europa League teams, but we've also got frigging relegation teams in us as well if we're not switched on. So there's a big dip. There's a big high and a big dip in us, and we know both of them are possible. That's the scary thing. So we've got to be. I always say to myself, you know what? When we stayed up and Leicester got relegated, they had a good team and they played like they wouldn't get relegated. So it's very dangerous to think that you're going to be okay. Because that Leicester team that got relegated with Tillemans, Dewsbury, Vardy, that was a good team to go down, I think, with a lot of big players in it. So you've got to be careful. Right, people, it is that time that we are probably going to have a showdown with Craig here. So it is what you've been waiting for. We are that sad on the show that we like your actual goal scorers as well. So it's score prediction time. What we do want is we want your score prediction and your goal scorers, people. That's what we want. I didn't know that song would go off. That was perfect timing. So what I'm going to do is proper football show there. I'm going to get Paul to go first. I went first last time. So I'm going to get Paul to go first with his score prediction. Then I'm going to get Craig to give his score prediction. Well, I did say the Everton fans in the comments was a bit rowdy, you know what I mean? So we are angry fans at the minute. And we are good booers, ain't we, Paul, to be fair?
Oh, we can boo. Oh, the fume.
We are the best booers. And then I'm Daniel, and going to do my score prediction, people. Yes, StreamYard has got a new tool with a few sounds. Right, Paul. This is hard to do a score prediction after getting battered 4-1. Let's just say, you know what though? Honestly, even Rocky lost on one of the Rockies. Rocky got beat by he got beat by him, and he come back and he smashed him up after. Nobody said life's going to be easy. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you. Do you know what's mad though? Like, you've got no given right to think you're going to win every game. And I'm telling you, if you think Everton are going to win every game, you're mad. You're absolutely mad. We are going to have that shit game in us like last time. So I don't know why we expect it isn't in us. It is in us. We shouldn't accept it. But we have got games like that. It's mad, isn't it? That people probably we've won 2 games in our last 3. If we win this, we've won 3 games. And I know this is me being positive. We've won 3 games in our last 4.
Yeah.
So not as bad as you're probably seeing on social media now. We're not I remember seasons where we've not won 10 in a row. We've won 2 games in our last 3. So so don't look as a fan. I would say don't make that loss bigger than what it was. Get it out your system. Forget about it. As fans, trust me, because the players will sense it. Don't jump on these players too much because we need to get that out of our system. That's me being positive. We need to get that game out of a system. Right, Paul, go.
Very good. Well, like Craig's been saying, this is an opportunity for both sides to put themselves more in the top half of the table over the next month or so, as opposed to just creeping above those 4 or 5 teams at the bottom. I think we'll both miss that opportunity. So I'm actually thinking that we'll get a point away. You guys will have a point at home. Neither will be particularly happy. We'll probably be the happiest out of the 2. And then we sort of go on from there. So I'm thinking Tuesday night, 1-1. We might sort of scrape together some sort of performance, which was better than yesterday. But yeah, we'll come away with a point, I think. So I'm going 1-1 personally. Score-wise, someone like Tavernier will score for them, always does. I would have said someone like Cook if he was playing. So Tavernier will take over that. He'll get 1 for them. And then we will say someone random, to be honest. I'd say Mikalenko if he'd go over the halfway line. But
Mikalenko?
Yeah,
No.
somewhat. I mean, really random. Yeah. Why not? 1-1, Mikalenko.
Mikalenko. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Craig is going to give his score prediction now. He looks a bit nervous.
Yeah, I am. I am
beat
to
you like
be,
that one.
I am, to be honest, because I tell you what, all the Everton fans are always really lovely to me, but we bloody need to get back to winning ways. So I'm probably going to predict with my heart, and I'm going to say a 3-0 win. It probably isn't going to be, to be honest, but I just want to be like comfortable.
The
Do you know what?
disrespect is unbelievable.
No. Honestly, it's it's
3-0.
I'm getting a little bit worried now. I'm getting a little bit worried, and we need to somehow get a decent result. I think we've got goals in us. We do concede, like you say, as well. Looking at how many goals we've conceded, it's only really, 4 of the bottom 5 that have conceded more goals. I'm going to stick with 3-0, but I wouldn't be surprised if Paul's, I've got to be honest, Paul's prediction is probably going to be a bit more realistic, but I'm just grabbing onto bloody dear hope at this moment in time. I'm going to say Semenyo. I'm going to say Krupi. I'm going to say Evan Nilsson. But in all honesty, I don't have a bloody clue.
3-0.
Could
He's
be
gone
anything.
big. He's trying to. He's just trying to down tool it after saying he ain't got a clue, but really he's gone in with the guns there, people. 3-0. I like it though. I wouldn't expect nothing
I
else.
don't mean it. I don't mean it. All
You
the
do
Everton
mean it. I
fans
could
are
tell.
really
He says he don't
hating
mean
me
it, but
now,
he's
aren't
already
they?
he's already got celebrations and his lucky pants ready to put on for this game, people. He's absolutely ready for this. Don't be fooled. He's a hustler. He wants this game big. And so do
You know
we.
what? I could
So
be
do we. It's
bloody
massive.
devastated at 9:30, couldn't I?
If
Coming away
if
from
you
the
lose
ground
this
going, oh,
game,
for
your
fuck's sake,
fans'
what
heads
was
will
that?
fall off. If we lose this game, our fans' heads will double fall off. I tell you, because they already have. So this game it is massive, absolute massive game, people. We need to get back on track. My score prediction. I'm going to go for. I hate that. Do you know, Paul, when someone says we're not that good, we've got players missing, that's like the worst thing I can hear, because I feel like that makes us due to be shit. It's like if a team hasn't won in 10 games with like Newcastle away, bloody hell, we're cursed. But no, I'm going to be confident. I think we can smash you up on the wings, Ardu. I think we can smash you up on the wings. And I think we're going to win 4-1. 4-1. I'm going to go for Eugene's legendary score of 4-1. And 4-1. My goal scorers, I'm going to go Semenyo. No, I'm going to go Clivert for you, actually. I think we might be able to stop Semenyo. I'm going to go Clivert for you. He could pop on the edge of the box and smash one in. But our goals, I'm going to go for Jack Grealish to score. Everyone keeps saying he needs to score more, but I think he's doing well. Some have actually said that he's bad. But bloody hell, what are you thinking? Jack Grealish. Barry to finally unlock it properly this time, not with his arm. Barry, get some studs though, Barry. You keep falling over. So Jack Grealish, Barry, Alcaraz. I felt sorry for him. He smashed the post and he deserved to score when he come on. And I just feel sorry for Alcaraz because I feel he's a player that could be on the pitch. So I'm going to go Alcaraz as well. And I'm going to give one to Jake O'Brien, who had a really bad game, to make us a bit happier with him. So then we get 4 goals. Jake O'Brien, Alcaraz, Jack Grealish, and Barry. I'm ready for this game. I will always have my biggest scars. I think till the day I die, this game, Bournemouth, will always be the biggest scar I'll have of a football match, because to be 2-0 up and lose 3, I don't think we'll ever beat that. I mean, what was it? 2-0 up, and how many?
Yeah,
it
was 87 minutes. 87 minutes. We got our first goal back.
I don't think you'll ever. And do you know what the worst thing is as well? I'll tell you a story about this before we do the score prediction. I had a £10 free bet, and all 6 of my teams had won. And the last team to win was Everton against Bournemouth that game. The last team.
Wow.
To win 500 quid. and it offered me, I'm not even joking, it offered me £400 cash out. And I didn't take it at 2-0 because I thought at 2-0.
Well, yeah.
I didn't tell you that story, Paul. I didn't take the cash out at 2-0. It offered me 400 quid for a £500 win. And I didn't take it because we was winning 2-0 at 87th minute. So that game has got it's given me a score for the rest of my life, just for the game itself and for that. But yeah, it's going to be a big game. I don't want to think about that. Get that out your system, people. Get that out your system. This is fresh. We've got better players now. We're not that Everton anymore. We've got Jack Grealish. But what have we got in the scores, Paul? And then we'll finish the show and let you watch your I'm a Celeb. Get me out of it.
Yeah, well, and
Who do you think's going out, Paul? Who do you think's going out tonight?
Well, I was gutted Alex Scott, but I was obviously playing on Tuesday for Bournemouth, so swings and roundabouts, I suppose. Who do I think's going out next? Probably what's his name from Kemp. Martin will go out next.
Yeah, he could do. I'd say so. Martin's got probably a chance as well. Who are you going to say?
We've also got the reveal of the final league table.
We have as well. Yeah, after the score prediction.
Because some people are waiting for that. By the way, just saying.
I'll be honest, I'm boring. I haven't got a clue about celebrity. Get me out of here. To be fair,
there you go. That makes it.
Neither do we.
That makes it easier. Right. So let's get the scores on. Let's get the scores on, people.
Yeah, very good. Here we go. Sorry, just getting to them, getting past all the team lineup. So Peter reckons 1-0 and Dial get it. Obviously happy with that. Emma agrees with me. If we're lucky, Barry Ireland will score as well. Shell reckons 3-1. She's going for Ndai, Garner and Grealish, which will work out very nicely. Where are we? Danny reckons 1-0 as well. Hopefully it's Barry. He could go in off his arse or elbow. Absolutely doesn't matter. Give the lad a goal, please. Rod reckons 0-0. It might well do. Roy says 1-1 Tarks. Yeah. James Graham 1-1 Barry again. Nick's not confident. Nick is not confident. And he always gives it the time of the goals. He's going 3-1 Bournemouth. So Semenyo is getting 2, 28 and 40. Scott on 67, and I'll get one back we'll actually equalise. So we'll be 1-1, but then it'll go tits up second half. Where are we? Stephen reckons 5-1. Barry 2, Skilly 2, and Tarks 1. Semenyo for them, if he's playing. Good to see Hell. Not seen you for a while, Hell. 0-0 probably. It's basically where we are. And considering what happened yesterday and the fact that we're very up and down, it's hardly surprising people are a little bit not that confident. But if we got battered in the last one, that was down, so then maybe it's up for the next one. So Shell says that. Can't see us losing twice in a row. It happens. Let's see. Oh, she also says, Hell says, Eddie or Vogue will go. 1-1 for Bry. That I think people will be happy with the draw, to be fair. Nick saying that his 3-1 is hopefully reverse psychology. So it's in hope. It's in hope more than anything else. But that's where we are. That's where we are with those.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Score predictions for saying we've been knocked out a little bit. Right, this is the time of the competition. Paul, should we reveal? Should we get the winner on the scene? Who?
Well, right. Let me get this. Bear with me, people.
What should we do as a prize, then, Paul, for this?
I'm getting a shirt.
I did think you was going to do that.
A shirt. So, that's where we are. So, I'm going to try and do this while talking at the same time. So, bear with me for a moment. So, James Graham was winning. You still with us, James? James Graham was winning. And then, hang on a second. I'm going to be all over the place here. Hang on. So James Graham was 1 point ahead with the game yesterday to go. So it needed some goals and assists from people that James Graham didn't have. Thing was that he did have. God, this is going to be a pain now, isn't it? One of the things that he did have was Dewsbury Hall. So he managed to get 1 point himself. However, there were a few people who had Tarkovsky and Dewsbury Hall. So we do have a tie. And we actually have it between, where are we? So trying to do both of these at the same time. But bear with me.
You're a teacher. You should be able. You're a teacher. You've got this, and a bingo caller.
I know. I normally have kids like causing bloody havoc.
We're being good boys.
So I am there. But yeah, there are actually 5 teams. Where have you gone? There's 5 teams actually. Oh, here we go. I know. Bear with us. Talk amongst yourselves just for 2 seconds. Apologies.
Just say we've got bounce. There's some random sounds in this. So we've got bounce. That's bounce. That's punch. That's scream man. That's me after last game. That's me. I should have done. I should have literally gone. You know what, everybody? I should have literally gone. Hello, everybody. This is the Everton Newcastle match reaction. Finished. That's the show done. That would have done it.
I got to be honest. We do have the Carl Pilkington one. Whenever, say for example, somebody turns around and says something about a transfer, activity. Oh, somebody's buying Semenyo. It's always bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good one. I need a few of them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Get it sorted, Dan. Get it sorted, mate.
Exactly. I'll let you look at comments, Dan, while I just sort of this. So James Graham got a point, but Shelley, Scar, Emma, and Westegg all had 2 points from yesterday's game. It means that we have 5 people finishing on 18 points. And we said at the very start that if there was a tie at the end, if there was a tie at the end, then we would have a draw. And we would pull out one of the names. So, also, just a bit of self-love in there. Got myself up to sort of lower mid-table where Everton are now. Dan, sorry, I think you've just missed out on surviving.
Yeah, that's not me. That's someone else. That's a different. I didn't even do
this competition. Must be another Dan.
Must be a different Dan. If I had done this competition, I would have smashed it all. Do you know what I want to say about this competition? Paul stole all the good players because he won the coin flip. So that's all I'm going to say.
You lying get. No, you lying get. Right, here we go. So I have. Come on, you can do it.
So the winner of this, Paul, they win an Everton top then, yeah? So this is quite big, this is, to be fair. It's a good prize that we got for you. It's a
yes, they do.
Big prize.
And if it is you, get in touch on X or otherwise, or send Dan a message through the channel, and we'll do it. So here we go. We have got the 5 names, and we are going to give it a spin. So Emma.
Emma got it.
Emma wins. There you go.
I thought it said James Graham at first, but no, Emma's got
won.
it.
James Graham was up there. Bless him. To be fair, like everyone's been joint top for a while, and then it's gradually got smaller. Then James took a lead, I think, for the Man U after the Man U game, and then he looked as though he was a shoe-in. But right at the death, we had a bit of a draw, and Emma, be in touch. Get in touch with us, and then I can. About time we're going to prize. She did win our little mini.
Do you know what? It's
prediction competition a while ago, but she didn't get.
I was just going to say,
almost redeemed. She's redeemed now, so there you go.
It's good timing, Emma, because we can send you your international trophy with it in the post. We can double whammy you. But yeah, that's cracking. Everton top. We'll go out to you, Emma. Well done. Yeah, cracking. People, that is the end of the show. We are going to leave now. Craig,
Sorry,
do you want to give yourself a plug before we finish?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for having us, guys. And, always love coming on here. And, all the best to Everton for the rest of the season. Like I always said, club that I've got a bit of a soft spot for. So our channel is called Up the Cherries in All Departments, UTC, IAD, AFCB. We do have loads of interviews, got loads of stuff on there. We've interviewed the Kaiser Chiefs, Simon Ricks from the Kaiser Chiefs fairly recently, Mark Rhodes, for any of you X Factor fans. He was on there as well. And lots of other special guests. Damon Minchella, of course, who's an Everton fan of Ocean Colour Scene. We had him on a couple of times as well. So, yeah, please do come and check it out and, let us know what you think.
Right, people, that is the end of the show. Competition winner, Emma, congratulations. I just want to say a shout out to you, Paul. I mean, you did all the competition by yourself. You put yourself out. It wouldn't have been easy to type up all that stuff and track down who's had assists, goals. And I know when I've done competitions myself, how much hard work and stressful it can be. I mean, when you enter the competition, it's easy and it's nothing for you. But when you actually run a competition, trust me, there's a lot to do. And for how long that's gone on, shout out for you, Paul, for doing it. And Emma, we will get the top out to you for a prize. We will try and do more competitions as well.
It was a good job that we. It was just a good job that we didn't score more goals. Otherwise, it would have been more difficult.
It was a good job.
So thank you, Everton, for being so inconsistent and leaving me a few days without having to update stuff. So hopefully, you can score as many goals as you want now. So
yeah,
go for it.
If Everton literally score like 7 goals next game, Paul was the curse, and like Jesus just wanted Paul, like God just wanted Paul to have an easy job. Do you know what I mean? And now the curse has gone, people. But yeah, hopefully we start smashing goals in now. That is the end of the show. We will go now. It's been a long one, 1 hour 17, but we've covered the competition as well, and it's been therapy, and it's just we've had Craig on. He's a cracking guy as well. So that is the end of the show, people. Up the toffees. Let's smash these up. I'm not having it anymore. Let's get back on good terms. Don't like to see Evertonians unhappy. Up toffees. Have a boss one.